So the UK has announced it is joining the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership.
Better known as the CPTPP, it will be the 12th member of the Regional Free Trade Agreement. Current members include key economies in the region like Japan, Australia, Canada, Singapore and Malaysia, among others. Britain has been looking to bolster its global trade links following its exit from the European Union.
The Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, said the deal demonstrates the real economic benefits of the UK's post-Brexit freedoms, adding that it's now in a prime position to seize opportunities for new jobs, growth and innovation.
This morning's announcement follows 2 years of negotiations. Membership will give the UK access to some 500 million customers in the region and raise the bloc's share of global trade to more than 15%. Perhaps more importantly, it will allow Britain deeper access to the fast-growing Indo-Pacific, which is predicted to account for 2/3 of global growth by 2030.
Ollie Barrett has more on what benefits joining the CPTPP will bring the UK.
The UK becomes the first European member of the CPTPP and the first new member since its creation. London says that it puts the country at what it calls the heart of a dynamic group of economies, and it predicts that it will boost jobs and economic growth in Britain. Now, the UK says it will mean 99% of British goods exports to CPTPP member countries will be eligible for zero tariffs, and it cites products like cheese, cars, chocolate, machinery, gin and whiskey as possible beneficiaries. It is also designed to secure supply chains for future technology, things like semiconductors and minerals that go into electric vehicles and wind turbines. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak says that the deal shows the real economic benefits of our post-Brexit freedoms. It's all part of the UK's post-Brexit tilt to the Indo-Pacific region, but critics of Brexit say that CPTPP membership won't be as beneficial to the UK economy as being part of the European Union. And they point out the UK already has trade deals with 9 of the existing CPTPP members. Now, while the deal is agreed, it's not completely done and dusted just yet. The UK acknowledges that legal and administrative steps still need to be taken so that the UK can officially join the pact this year.
But for more on the significance of the deal, let's speak now with Natalie Black. She's His Majesty's Trade Commissioner for Asia Pacific with the UK Department for Business and Trade. She joins us this morning from Washington, D.C. So, Ms. Black, first off, just how big a trade win is CPTPP for the UK really? Because some observers feel that the economic gains from Britain will be minimal and do little to offset the European trade losses incurred as a result of Brexit.
Well, firstly, thank you very much for the opportunity to join you today. We are so excited and delighted to be able to announce that we have substantially concluded negotiations to join CPTPP. Ministers, trade ministers of all the CPTPP ministers and the UK Minister for the Department for Business and Trade met a couple of hours ago virtually, hosted by Japan, who's led our accession working group, and agreed that we have concluded negotiations, which really is, as your introduction says, a historic moment. We are the first new member of what we think is the most exciting deal in the world. Why do we think that? Because we think that CPTPP reflects the way the world is changing. It's anchored in the Indo-Pacific, which is going to be home to the majority of global growth, and of course will be also home to half of the world's middle class. So as we look to the kind of trading partner we want to be in the future, it is absolutely anchored in CPTPP.
A spokesperson for Britain's Business and Trade Ministry said, and I quote, "The government is working to ensure that the UK joins on terms that work for British business and are in line with domestic priorities." Just share with us what some of those domestic priorities are.
Absolutely. I mean, of course, we want this deal to work for everyone, and we think the UK has a lot to offer all CPTPP members. You know, it's worth remembering that we're a market of 67 million consumers, and of course, from a domestic point of view, we want to open up more markets for British business, and we think that's what this deal does. We want to make it easier to trade in the way that the world is evolving. So particularly around the trading of services, making it easier for the digital elements of trade. And CPTPP is very progressive on this front. It is very forward-leaning, recognizing that businesses want to operate in a different way now. And that's what we want to support. And we're looking forward to being an active and committed member of CPTPP.
Ms. Black, which markets within the CPTPP is the UK most interested in building closer trade ties with, and which sectors in particular are likely to be a priority given the latest development?
Oh, I have to be a little bit careful here because obviously we want to be strong partners with all members of CPTPP. But it's worth pointing out, of course, that Malaysia and Brunei, we don't currently have a trade deal. So this really is stepping up the partnership. But across all 11 members, you know, CPTPP is going to enable us to work in a different way, in a more progressive way. It's a deal that spans across a whole range of issues, but also reflects our values around the environment and around workers' rights. And so we're looking forward to being part of a club that is shaping the rules of the road of trade, not just today, but in the future. And I think that's a very optimistic place to be. There's a lot of challenges in the world, but we've come together to negotiate something quite special. And so we are looking forward to the future that we will have as a member of CPTPP.
And just give us sort of an overview of what Britain is bringing to the table then. Where do its strengths lie?
Well, of course, we've got one of the strongest service economies in the world, and the importance of the service sector is only growing. And again, that's why we see CPTPP as a real opportunity, because the digitizing of services, and that's something that Asia is paying close attention to as Asia develops its own economies in this space. We see that as a big opportunity, but also our market of 67 million consumers, you know, who are very, very keen to build partnerships across the Indo-Pacific. And I must say, you know, the feedback from business throughout this process as we've been negotiating CPTPP has been really positive, because I think British business recognizes the opportunity in Indo-Pacific. They see the future consumers that they want to satisfy, but also the partnerships that they want to build with businesses across the region. And it really is a two-way partnership and a two-way opportunity. So from our point of view, this is just the beginning. We've concluded negotiations. We look forward to formally signing the deal. But then, of course, we want to make the most of this opportunity. So as I say, we're only getting going.
Indeed, you're just getting started. We know that UK has just joined this new membership. But in terms of potential new members to the CPTPP, we understand that China and Taiwan in quick succession submitted their own applications to join the bloc. Where does the UK stand in terms of their membership of the grouping?
So as we're not formally a member just yet, because we haven't signed and ratified the deal, it wouldn't be appropriate for me to comment on individual members. But I think it's worth noting the enthusiasm for CPTPP, the fact that there are so many economies interested in joining, which I think only supports our strategy and why we've worked so hard to join this deal. And it is tough to join. We've worked very, very hard over the last couple of years to meet the high standards of this deal. We've worked across multiple time zones, multiple teams to make sure that we met the expectations of existing members. And we've done that now. And we're very proud of the strength of the UK economy and our ability to do that. And we're delighted to see the enthusiasm for CPTPP going forward.
And just one last question for you. We understand that the signing ceremony is planned for July when member trade ministers meet in Auckland, New Zealand. So what happens between now and then?
So now there's a lot of crossing of T's and dotting of I's. We have all the formal paperwork. Lawyers will be getting together to go through all of that. There's a parliamentary process that we will also need to kick off. So the negotiating teams have been locked away, working extremely hard, and now we enter the formal signing and then ratification process of a trade deal.
Wishing the very best. Ms. Black, thank you very much for joining us. And Natalie Black, His Majesty's Trade Commissioner for Asia Pacific with the UK Department for Business and Trade.